Let's discuss using the LoadTrek system to track maintenance in your fleet. There are two types of maintenance activities that you can track. One is your scheduled maintenance items, oil changes, annual inspections, things that we do periodically, either based on distance, engine hours, or time. We can also use LoadTrek to track requested maintenance items, whether they're requested by the driver or by the shop. So let's get started. And from the LoadTrek web portal homepage, let's click on the Setup icon, and let's set up our maintenance. Once the maintenance tab opens, once the setup tab opens, click on maintenance, and we have two planes. On the left is our repair types, and on the right is our preventative maintenance types. A repair type is a function that's performed on a truck. Change a tire, fix a light, windshield wipers, gauges, after treatment, things of this nature. And when we check mobile repair, that means that it shows up in the list that the driver sees. In other words, when we check mobile repair, this is a DVIR item, so that when you set up an electronic DVIR to mimic your existing paper DVIR, you will go down the list and you will add a new type for every item you see on your paper DVIR. And let's just look at brake connections. Give it the name right here in this field. Check mobile repair type and click save, and this places it in my driver's DVIR list, so that every beginning of shift, when the driver signs into the truck, he or she sees this screen, checks the items that need addressing. They may be defects, they may be safety related items, they may be annoyances, but the driver will check those things that he or she believes needs to be addressed. And that creates a work order, and this work order is then addressed by the shop. And it's either fixed, corrected, or noted as no defect and placed back into service. Over on the right is our preventative maintenance types, and we can do a PM based on distance, engine hours, or calendar days. So we have a Type A. I call this the JB, Type A maintenance. Let's look at it by double-clicking on it. Here's the name. You can call it anything you want. And this is a distance-based PM. Every 15,000 miles, we're going to change the oil, and I want 1,000 miles advance warning. So at 14,000 miles, I will receive a notice. It's time to change oil, and at 15,000 miles, it's due. Let's set up a new one, and I'll just kind of show you how this works. So let's give it a name, and let's make this for our federal annual inspection. Okay. I can track PMs based on distance, but I'm not going to for this one. Or I can track them based on engine hours or operating hours. This is typical of off-road equipment. If you wanted to do an oil change every 500 hours, you would type in 500 with an interval, say, 25 hours in advance. But in this particular case, I want to do an annual inspection. So 365 days, every 365 days I want to do an annual inspection. I'll put no warning on here. I'll just make sure it shows up on my list that once a year I do an annual inspection. And for training, let's go ahead and remove this, so we're only looking at one PM type. So again, on the left we have our repair types, and on the right we have our maintenance types. Now, with everything set up, let's go look at maintenance. From the web portal's home page, click on the maintenance icon, the wrenches. And instead of looking at hundreds of trucks, let's select a group that interests us, and let's go to Pennsylvania. So we're going to look at the group called US-PB Heavy. And I have narrowed my list of hundreds of trucks down to just those attached to this location. And again, if there's a specific truck I want to look at, I can type it into the search box. Otherwise, I just select it. And we have two colors right here. Blue means the truck needs attention. Green means that the truck is okay and does not need our attention. Let's pick one of the ones that needs our attention. That's 800-459. And there are two things on this truck. First off, starting at the top and working down, we can see that it's a 2009 Kenworth. We have the odometer reading, the device ID, that's the serial number of the telematics device, the vehicle's VIN, and the LoadTrek version and hardware. This is for troubleshooting purposes. So we have two different items on there. Let's talk about the repair request. This came from the driver, and it's called an other safety item, and the ignition needs a nut. Okay? Before we can make any repairs to the truck, we have to place it out of service. So I click the in service button, confirm yes, and now the truck is out of service, and it shows them in red over on the left. So now let's select that this item that the driver wrote up. Replaced ignition switch nut. And when I click accept, you'll notice how this request turns green. The driver wrote it up, that created a work order, and the shop addressed it and fixed it, replaced the ignition switch nut, confirmed that it's fixed, and now that request turns green, and I can place the truck back into service. And now you'll see the truck goes green. So let's stay on this truck, and you'll see that it also has a PM due. There's two ways of doing a PM, so let's take the truck out of service. So now the truck is back out of service, back red. Did I perform this task? Yes, I did. And when I perform the PM, no additional repairs needed. And now my PM has been taken care of. If we need to get caught up and enter repairs into the system that have been done in the past, or enter PMs that have been done in the past, and let me just add one here. Click the Past PM button, select our type in our odometer reading, enter a date, and let's just say this is a PM we did back in August. And click Submit. And now we'll see it shows up in our history. Let's put the truck back in service. And now it's green. Everyone who's using the LoadTrek system knew that the truck went out of service, and now they know that the truck is back in service. Additionally, we have created a history of 3 different repairs that were done, 2 different PMs, and we replaced this ignition switch nut. And this isn't a specific item that was on the DVIR. This is one of those things where the driver picked other safety-related items and typed in, using the LoadTrek keypad, exactly what was wrong with the truck. And we also see that in 14,999 miles, another PM is required. That's using the LoadTrek system to schedule maintenance and to plan maintenance repair items and automate DVIRs. If you have any questions, please contact your LoadTrek administrator or contact LoadTrek at www.loadtrek.net.